You know that nagging pain in your jaw? That clicking sound when you chew? Or those headaches that just seem to pop up out of nowhere? Well, what if I told you the solution might be hiding in plain sight, and it's directly connected to your smile? Today, we're going to tackle a huge question for anyone who's ever dealt with that kind of discomfort. It is such a frustrating and, believe it or not, a really common problem that can seriously mess with your quality of life. So, what's the deal? Can these modern, nearly invisible braces actually bring you some relief? Let's dive in and find out.
And you know what? We're not going to make you wait for the answer. For a whole lot of people, the answer is a big, resounding yes. Clear aligners can be a total game changer for jaw pain. But the real questions are how and why? And that's exactly what we're here to unpack. So let's get right into it. We're going to look at how this incredibly popular approach might just be the solution that millions of people have been looking for.
But before we can even talk about the solution, we've got to get to the root of the problem. What exactly is TMJ anyway? Okay, that sounds super technical, I know, but it's really just about these two critical joints. You've got one on each side of your head, right in front of your ears. They're responsible for pretty much every move your jaw makes, and when they're not happy, trust me, you feel it. So, does any of this sound familiar to you? That annoying click every time you yawn? The tenderness after eating a chewy piece of bread? Or maybe those persistent headaches you just can't seem to shake? These are all classic signs that your whole TMJ system is under a lot of stress. And here's something that might surprise you. Research actually shows these issues are most common in women between the ages of 20 and 40. But why? Well, for a lot of people, the problem doesn't start in the joint itself. It starts with the teeth. Yep, for so many people dealing with this, the real culprit isn't the joint. It all comes down to something we call a bad bite. Malocclusion, it's just the clinical term for when your teeth don't line up the way they should. And this quote right here, it gets right to the heart of the matter. When your bite is off, the pressure isn't spread out evenly, and that forces your jaw to work in ways it was never designed to. I want you to think of your jaw like a really finely tuned machine. If the gears, which are your teeth, don't mesh together perfectly, the whole system gets thrown out of whack. The muscles have to work overtime, and the joint itself can get inflamed or even pushed out of place. So it becomes pretty clear that fixing the alignment is the absolute first step toward feeling better.
Which, of course, brings us right to the solution. If a misaligned bite is the problem, then clear aligners are designed to restore that balance and give you a path to relief.
Now, this isn't about yanking your teeth into place with aggressive force. It's a really precise, controlled process. It all starts with a digital map of your mouth, which is then used to create a series of custom trays. Each tray applies just a little bit of gentle, consistent pressure to guide your teeth right where they need to go. And the result? A perfectly balanced bite and a jaw that can finally relax. And the benefits are things you can actually feel. By creating a harmonious bite, aligners help spread out those chewing forces evenly. This lets your overworked jaw muscles finally take a break. It reduces pressure on the joint, and, this is the big one, it addresses the root cause of the pain, not just masking the symptoms. So right about now, you're probably thinking, okay, but what about traditional braces? Don't they fix your bite too? And you're right, they absolutely do. But there's a really key difference. That gradual, gentle pressure from aligners can be so much more comfortable for a jaw that's already in pain. Sometimes, the periodic tightening of braces can actually cause a short-term spike in that discomfort. And let's break it down even further. When you look at things like comfort, hygiene, and of course appearance, you can see why clear aligners are often a more patient-friendly experience. This is especially true for adults who need a solution that fits seamlessly into their busy lives. But, and this is really, really important, clear aligners are not a magical cure for every single case of jaw pain. It's so crucial to know what they can and can't do. So who is the ideal person for this? Well, aligners are an incredibly effective tool when the jaw pain is directly linked to a bad bite. For people with mild to moderate symptoms, or those just starting to notice bite issues, aligners can be the perfect solution. On the other hand, if the pain is coming from something more serious, like severe joint degeneration, arthritis, or other issues that have nothing to do with your bite, then you're probably going to need other treatments, things like physical therapy, or in some cases, even surgery. And this is exactly why getting a professional diagnosis is non-negotiable. So let's put it all together. Once you understand the problem of a stressed jaw and its main cause, that bad bite, you can really see how aligners offer a truly modern path to lasting relief. And that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? This isn't just about cosmetics or having straight teeth for a better picture. It's about restoring proper function, getting rid of chronic pain, and supporting the long-term health of one of the hardest working joints in your entire body. If you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this: you cannot guess your way to a solution. The journey to relief always begins with a professional evaluation to get the right diagnosis and to create a plan that is tailored specifically for you. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. That smile you see in the mirror, it might just hold the key not only to your confidence, but to your comfort too. It's a pretty compelling question, and for a lot of people, the answer is a life-changing yes.